In June 2017, Tara Carter and her son were being driven home by her husband, Chris. Suddenly, though, Chris sharply turned the car, and at first, Tara had no idea why her spouse was now traveling in the opposite direction to their house. Once she saw Chris approach a stranger, however, all began to become clear. While growing up, you may have been told to respect your elders. That rule was perhaps passed on by a parent or grandparent. It may even have been instilled in you at school. But of course, not everyone lives by that credo. And naturally, many people are busy, tied up with their own concerns and worries. What's more, when you're rushing around focusing on your day-to-day life, it can be easy to forget about neighbors or strangers around you who may need some assistance from time to time. It may be fair to assume then that the Carters have packed lives too. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. Certainly, they seem like many other families on social media. On Tara's Facebook page, she, Chris, and their son Gage can be seen having fun at a baseball game, playing around outdoors, and generally spending quality time together. But even though the mom's Facebook profile is nothing out of the ordinary, an event involving her family would bring her account to much greater attention. In fact, after the internet discovered exactly what had happened to the Carter clan in June 2017, Tara's post about the incident went viral. At first, though, the day may have seemed like any other for the Carters. On that occasion, the family, who live in Fort Smith, Arkansas, had taken a trip out to get groceries. A routine event for most and definitely nothing unusual in itself. Then, after grabbing what they needed from the store, the family decided to head home. Chris was driving his wife and their son in the Jeep, perhaps along a route they had traveled many times before. This time, though, the journey would be that little bit different. That's because on the way back, Chris suddenly swung the Jeep in the opposite direction. He then requested that his wife take the wheel instead. And at first, Tara had little idea as to why her husband had made such a demand of her. Describing the situation on her Facebook page, Tara wrote, "As we're driving home with Kylie and Gage, Chris suddenly turns the Jeep around and says, 'Take the food home and come back and get me.' I didn't know what he had seen but said, 'Okay.' And as Chris subsequently pulled over, Tara remained in the dark over his reason for doing so. Then, as he got out of the car and walked over to a stranger, suddenly the purpose of her husband's request became clear. On the side of the road, an elderly man was struggling with a lawnmower, and when Chris had witnessed the scene, he had decided that he needed to help. Indeed, rather than just driving on by, he chose to stop so that he could go and assist the stranger. Tara explained as much on Facebook, writing, "We pull up and Chris takes the push mower from this elderly gentleman." She paid touching tribute to her husband too by continuing, "I pray that my son learns from this and randomly helps people do things like his father does." And it seems Tara couldn't keep the news of Chris's good deed to herself. Once she had made her Facebook post, however, she may not have been anticipating just how popular the story would become. To date, her words and photo have been shared nearly 32,000 times. 68,000 people have also reacted to the tale. What's more, judging by the comments left on Tara's post, Chris's choice to play Good Samaritan hasn't gone unnoticed. Indeed, a number of Facebook users have since felt impelled to express their admiration for the Arkansas husband and father. One individual commented, for example, "What a great young man. He sure has a heart of gold and compassion. Blessed indeed." Another user echoed this sentiment, writing of Chris, "We need more like him. Thanks for sharing." But that wasn't the end of the publicity that Chris would receive for his caring act. His wife would make sure of that. Tara subsequently submitted her post to Love What Matters, a website that shares stories of kindness and compassion, and the site republished her anecdote on its Facebook page. And it appears Chris wasn't the only person to have taken time out of their day to have helped another. Indeed, underneath the recounting of Tara's tale, many Facebook users chose to share their own experiences of kind acts for strangers, whether they had taken part themselves or just watched. One woman commented, for example, "We were driving down the road one evening and we saw two elderly women shoveling their driveway. My husband pulled the car over and went and finished up for them. Took him a few minutes, would have taken that much longer. It's free to be kind. Another user gave her own account of a nighttime journey gone awry. She and her mom had been traveling home at approximately 4 a.m. when a tire had burst on their vehicle. Happily though, a truck driver had pulled over to change it for them. She added, "Won't ever forget his kindness, as a few cars had already gone straight past us." So, while taking time out of your day to help someone in need may put your own plans in jeopardy, it can nevertheless make a real difference. And given Chris's selfless act of compassion for the elderly gentleman, it's easy to see why the Carter story went viral. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.